So, you wanted to see a studio tour? Let's check it out. Your space is never finished. Your work evolves, and therefore the tools that you need to make your work evolve.
It feels cohesive to me.
In the beginning, it was more like I finally have a space and like trying to fill it up with stuff that looks nice in the background. But then if I change my angle, is it still looking good? Then if I do this, then I have to put all of this together again. And every angle you change to takes a lot of work to get that angle. That change to I want a place that's plug and play. If you have an idea, turn camera on, I can sit down, record it.
Tom is not just another content creator. He's originally a marine biologist, and he's combining those two things now to help scientists reach an audience. Or as he puts it,
I'm just trying to inspire other creators and hopefully get a little bit of climate content out there. That's what I'm gonna show you in this video. Let's take a look at some data. This is Isham, the dirtiest river in Europe. I'm Tom, and I'm trying to answer what a lot of creators are asking themselves.
Now let's check out his space to find out why he has 3 desks and how he survives long editing sessions. Can you explain what's going on here? There's 2, 3-ish tables, more gear than a rental house, and a bunch of fake plants, as I learned. What's the deal with all these stations?
We live inside a loft, so this is one of the rooms of the loft. It's a very open space, which is interesting. You can get some creative ideas, but if I have an idea that's sticky enough for me to really be like, I want to make this, I want to be able to sit down and start doing all of that. That's all of these stations have a different purpose. I like to have just a big desk if I'm working with a lot of papers. Everything can go around, so I have like cockpit view, if that's a thing, right? I have the screen, like a very big screen vertically, so I can have all these different windows open if I need to. I have the camera if I want to film something or I have a Zoom meeting. I have this whole whatever contraption that's called. It's just to have everything ready for me to start writing the idea, to start editing the idea, have the screen to do all of that. So this is where the ideas get made, and this is where the ideas get edited together. That side is just for overhead rigs. So when I have to shoot something, I can put my camera up here, film down, and I have my overheads. There's of course the sofa. I used to do this a lot more, like to film myself sitting here. But what I noticed, you need more depth. And this is not a lot of depth if I'm putting a camera in front of here. So I use this more as a decor piece, if that makes sense. So, and also it's nice to just every once in a while, just sit back, kick back, think about what am I doing here, look off from a distance at the videos, see how that goes. This is where the main angle lives. The most depth I could create was putting this more forward and then have the whole studio in the back. It also makes it a lot more roomy. Like what you said when you came in, like, this isn't as big as I thought. It's just use whatever space you have and just push it.
Pushed everything as far to the edges as possible.
Yeah, and then having a wide angle on there makes this look really nice. Plus, it's also nice for a viewer to let their eyes wander around the screen. My mom had to hear a lot of me figuring this place out because she's an interior designer. Hey mom, what if I did this? Would this look good if I did this? Blah, 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 blah. And it's me trying to figure out every time they would visit, like the whole studio would look different. So that was, yeah, they're always rolling their eyes like, what the hell are you doing here in the studio? But it helps coming from, like, I've been growing up with seeing designs and drawings and like how to do interior design. I know it's easier when you just have a theme going on with your studio and just stay along that theme. Like this theme is pretty industrial looking, using metal, using wood, like I said, black, not too much different things. And then I use yellow as my primary color, and then maybe throw something in that's a little bit opposite to that to make it pop a little bit more.
Nice. This space feels to me like it has a lot of intention.
Yes.
You might be dissatisfied with some of the clutter here, but it feels like everything that's in here has a reason for being here.
If I don't use it, it shouldn't be in here. That's not to say that there's nothing in here that gets used all the time. Like, I needed to have a Pokeball in here. I mean, the people who know me, they know, like, there's just one game that I've ever played, it's Pokemon, so that should be in here.
It's good to have something childish, something a little bit...
Well, we're both geeks, so we understand, right?
Exactly. You need your nerd.
Yes. Let's open this bad boy up. What the hell? This I didn't know that existed. Collab with Angel Bird and Peak Design. Got some stickers. Let's see what's next. These guys know that I just love pencils. This actually looks kind of sick. So much tech for a water bottle. Bro, what the fuck? 2 CF Express A 1 terabyte drives? Okay, this was highly needed. Bro, I don't know what to say. Angel Bird their tech just works. You don't have to ask yourself if you're gonna lose files on your stupid drive. Actually, I'm speechless. Pro storage bag. Everything's so high quality. I don't know what to say. First of all, Angel Bird, thanks. If this is just the start of what Orbit's going to be, then I think a lot of creators are going to be in for a treat. I think this is a nice segue to just kick off the episode again.
So, what's the oldest thing in here?
Let me think. The oldest thing? There's one thing that has a special place for me. This is the Hero 4. Started with a Hero 2, and that was actually my first ever camera that I used. That's how I got into filmmaking. But then I made a YouTube video about skating, roller skating with the GoPro Hero. GoPro picked that up and they sent this camera as a thank you for using my footage. So this was my first proof, if that's something to say, like, okay, what I'm doing is not awful and maybe it's worth pursuing. So this one is always gonna stay with me. I sold my other one just because I bought that one, but this one is the OG one. I'm never gonna sell this one. Trophy.
What is something in here that you can't live without?
One thing that's very crucial for me and might be for a few people, sound treating. If you go back to old videos, you'll hear the difference. You at least once struggled with getting things done. I tried to do this and I tried to put on the rugs to get at least a little bit of a good sound. But if you're doing voiceovers in a space like this, just go for the pillows. That's why these are the very soft ones with the fluffy ones.
Oh.
And then as soon as I start doing this, you can already hear now that this voiceover sounds completely different than what I'm doing right now. So I just mount these into this space, whatever, do my voiceovers, and these just move back. So it's something cheap and it's something that's inside of the studio, but
we all have those things that are dirt cheap, but are just like super useful and nobody ever talks about.
Like, one of the things that I think should be in every filmmaker's toolkit, but still, like, people who knew, they don't know about. It's just a stupid small magic arm.
And that's like a really cheap one.
That's the cheapest one because you can see, you know, the grip is gone and I need to fix this. But still, this I can mount about anywhere where it has the diameter. For example, I can just, if I really need a quick shot, can just attach it here. I attach my camera or I attach the phone and I have it here.
Voila.
And this is an overhead rig. This is whatever I need it to be. I can mount a microphone here if I want to mic myself up, light, whatever it is. And one thing.
All right, I'll let you grab that.
This just came out of the wash, but this is the ultimate thing that an editor needs when they're editing long hours.
It looks like one giant slipper.
It is one giant slipper. So when you're doing long hours, you just need something to snuggle up in, and then you can start editing.
This looks so funny. I love it.
So
is this something you bought or did somebody gift this to you?
I bought this. I bought this for my mom back in the day, and we used it a lot in the house just to snuggle up in. And I was like, I need that. Wherever I go next, I need something like this. I just need to buy one more and then I can...
But then just get slippers.
No. Thing is, I do quirky shit, and this is quirky and needs to be in there. So now you've seen probably everything.
But we've seen a lot, yes.
Well, no, I haven't seen actually everything.
Is there something else you want to show me?
So actually, this is something that not a lot of people know. It's called an auto pole. Basically, you press the whole pole in between the floor and the ceiling, and then mount whatever you want to do. I mean, notebooks, obviously, but can you ever have too many? This is actually something that's hidden away most of the time. You can use this as a film stand, like a light stand. You can use it for so many things, a boom mic. Now I just use this as overhead rig. Here.
And you really should have a counterweight with this.
Yeah. If you want to know how to make a really cheap counterweight, this is just a bag that a tripod comes in. You're gonna laugh. You can just drink the Coke bottle. Something else? Don't get a Google Home in your studio, because that just starts talking.
Where do you keep all... Well, I think I know where you keep all your shit.
Most of the shit is actually in the studio already.
And I guess there's some stuff...
Yeah,
show me what's in there.
That
Everybody's
one
been
we're
wondering.
not gonna try, because this is actually pretty interesting.
Ooh, see, this is...
A nice shot, right?
This is sexy here.
So that's just, you go to IKEA, you get all the same bins, you measure it up beforehand, and not like me, so I had to go back 2 or 3 times to get everything right. And you just take out gaffer tape, put out the white marker like Casey does, and you just whip it up, and you have somewhat of an overview.
So with us, it's not just the content that we produce that is inspired by other creators.
Yeah.
It's also how we organize our space.
Yes. I mean, you got to learn from somewhere, right?
Sure.
You used to have the film background and you work with a lot of people in film, so you do things because...
Oh, yeah. Filmmaking has taught me you put things back where they came from. Like things have a space where they live. And that's
otherwise,
where they
you're
belong.
searching for it for the entire day and you cannot make your shot.
And you don't want to run around in a truck and be like, where is this doohickey?
Right? So that's where the doohickeys live and everything that you can see that's written on here. And then this is just really simply for me to store bags that I use. I mean, most creators know this bag.
Peak Design.
Peak Design, everyday backpack. These are some really small things that I use quite a lot. So I don't have to be searching like in those bins. It's one for sound, another one for sound with all the different dead cats, and GoPro stuff and action cam stuff. And then this is all the grip stuff.
And so how does this compare to your first, I don't know, setup? Or
I mean, that's just the bedroom studio, right? It's the one where I figured out what filmmaking looked like. So a lot of mistakes. Half the room was already a bed. Yeah. Then there was my desk. Yeah. And then there was the place to move around between those two to the door.
I mean, that's also something with a lot of YouTubers. This is part of your home.
Yeah.
This is where you live. This is where you work. This is your life.
Yeah.
How does that feel for you in terms of work-life balance?
Which balance? Is that an answer?
I mean, I'm sure you don't just sit in here 24/7.
There are days that it's too much and that you feel like, okay, tomorrow I have to get out because otherwise it's hard. But if I look back to the moments that I worked for somebody else versus now, those moments I was happy to come home and that was like my place where like my YouTube interest was. But now that's also part of work, right? Yeah. So now I deliberately have to put in moments in my day that I'm not in here. Because if I would just go at it, I would stay in here all day.
But so like if you have a weekend,
this is
free time, does it like bother you that you see this space or anything like that? Does it like remind you of like unfinished work?
No, the thing is my mind never stops working. So I try to take breaks, but when an idea comes, especially in the weekends because you're doing something else. That's when you allow your mind to have those ideas because you're not focus mode. That's the moment when I maybe walk in here and I just note something down quickly on a notebook, and then I have that ready for during the week when I start here.
This moment of I've completed the work and now I have free time, that is something I'm searching for.
Yeah.
That moment of like, I have a day to myself and no obligations, no deadlines. That is the quest for many creatives. Well, thanks again for showing me around the space. It was really exciting. It's fun to see other places. It's fun to see other countries.
And now we actually get to see a little bit more of what other YouTubers in Europe do, which is also important.
Yes, we have very different spaces. I feel like if you've seen, this is an exaggeration, right? But if you've seen one American house, you've kind of seen them all.
Very,
this is a very broad stroke.
Yeah, but it's true. It's different ways of building here.
Yeah. I think it's just interesting to see how people work and what they make of their space.
Next year, you probably can come and do another tour, and then this is all messed up again.
I'll come back sometime and can't wait to see how this changes, how you evolve as a creator, how your workflow changes, and how many channels you have at that point.
Bro.
Thanks. If you enjoyed this episode, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a fellow creative to support their journey. We're all about highlighting and connecting creators in Europe and beyond. And if you want a chance to shine on one of the future episodes, check out the survey link down below. I'm always excited to meet new creators.